is good, YouTube? What is good, YouTube? Welcome in. If you tuning in to the late night stream, welcome in. Last Word Productions here always, man. Coming in because the Friday preseason games done started. We back at it. Dolphin football is officially back, ladies and gentlemen. So, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and do a little game review, even on the game is still going on. But before we do any of that, my man Larry here with me again for another week. What's up, my boy?
Yo, what's good? Checking out this Dolphins Falcons fourth quarter, man. That's it.
Yep. So games, like I said, games still going on, guys. But we dropping this episode because it's a little late, and plus it ain't really much more to see. The people who's playing right now, a lot of them gonna be on the bubble or getting cut. So just gotta wait and see what happens once the roster cuts and practice squad announcements come out, stuff like that. But let's get straight into it, man. We're gonna give our thoughts about what we thought of this game, Larry. So let's start with the positives. Like, what were some things you seen tonight that you really liked? What were some things you really liked?
I really like how I sort of liked how the run game looked. I mean,
Mhm,
for the most part, that's the running schemes that they had out there.
mhm,
I like that a lot. Um, I would really say that really, to be honest with you. I like some of the I like what what's my man name? Connor, the tight end.
yeah.
He
Team.
looked good in open space. Which is
Yeah.
the main thing I've always said, you know, throughout the streams. I would really love a tight end that catch the ball and get upfield versus having a good block. We see what a good blocking tight end does for us, but I want to see a legit vertical threat, you know. And Connor
Right.
came in and showed that he has that capability, especially being 2, 3 years in the league at this point. Because when he was a
Mhm,
rookie, he had some little shakeups. But I really enjoyed that. On the
mhm,
defensive side, I could say how I like some of the schemes that they did with the D line. I would have liked for us to stop the run a little better, but I did like what the defensive line was bringing from a pressure standpoint. Michael Penix, he looked comfortable just to throw him a little compliment. But other than that, we kind of like tightened it up. So I really enjoyed that just to get the defense something as well.
mhm.
That's pretty much it, man. And it felt good watching Jason Sanders kick a field goal and make it.
Right. Right. That was gonna be one of my good things to see. He made a 58 yarder too, so that was real
hmm
good. So for me, I think the first positives is for sure seeing Jason Sanders make field goals and big field goals. This isn't just like 30, 40 yarders he was in. He first kick of the game, he went out there, hit a
A
almost 60-yard
57 yard.
field goal.
hmm
So it was good to see. I'm glad to see that he actually is finding his groove again. He's picking up where he left off at towards the end of last year, where he pretty much played not lights out, but he was solid. He was good. He was much better than what he was the year prior and the beginning of last season. So hopefully he continues to trend in the right direction. And another thing that I really liked was simply put, excuse me, I like I had enjoyed what I seen from the running back room as a whole. I thought Jeff Wilson looked really good tonight. Thought Jalen Wright looked good tonight as well. He looked to be comfortable and explosive, hitting the hole with determination, things of that nature. And I thought the offensive line ran block pretty well. The pass blocking left some things to be desired. That was a bad for me,
hmm
but they ran block pretty well. So I give them credit for that. But one thing I seen on defense that I liked, I thought the secondary played better than I thought they were going to play. Even though Michael Penix had a solid game, from what snaps he did take.
Mm-hmm.
They they also broke up a lot of passes, and they pretty much made every throw a hard throw. I know he missed one guy really badly on the corner route, but other than that, I mean, pretty much every throw he was completing outside of that bomb he threw against Ethan Bonner, pretty
Yeah,
much
on
they
to the left.
turned him over. So outside of that, I can't really harp too much on the secondary as a whole because they gave up some plays, but they made more plays than they gave up. So that was a positive for me. Now, another positive I want to say, I thought the special teams didn't look like a fucking disaster today. And that's good
Mm-hmm.
because special teams has been atrocious the last 2-3 years. So seeing Jason Sanders make kicks, good open field tackling on the special teams, punt return, kick return. Malik Washington looked good back there. So those
He
all
bobbled a punt too.
yeah, he did bobble a punt, yeah. But he made up for. I thought he had a pretty solid game returning.
Yeah.
So I give him credit where it's due. So those are my positives. So let's get into some of these negatives because I think I got a little bit more negatives to say. I mean, but you go first though, my boy. What are some
I
things
mean,
you think they need to improve on?
you kind of took my first one away saying pass blocking. Pass blocking did not look good, especially when Skylar Thompson was in that first series.
Mm-hmm.
That first series didn't look too good on Skylar Thompson's part. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said to you before the show, Skylar Thompson it looked like a 3-year quarterback out there, and I know he's in there with some young guys, and he's in the most case technically a leader for that. They're like I don't want to say age group, but like that personnel, like he's the leader, he's the quarterback. He didn't look comfortable, He did miss a few throws, he threw an interception, but he didn't look comfortable nonetheless. And I really do feel like the pass blocking gotta, be called out in that situation. Um Receivers, I would have liked to see a little bit more from the receivers. I know I
Yeah.
kind of it's kind of unfair to say that to them, and I get on the pass blocking, but NFL receivers still got to make a play, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to see some of them young guys go out there and make some plays. It seemed like every preseason the young defensive dudes come out and show what they can do, but you only get a select few guys on the offensive side and not a consistent bunch. So I would have really liked to see that wide receiver room do a little bit more work out there, especially with Connor leading your team in receiving. I can't be confident in you if my tight end is out receiving you.
You're right.
I kind of touched on quarterback play, so I won't go too much on it. But 4 for 14 for Mike White, I kind of don't like that
Mm-hmm.
because he's our second string quarterback, bar none. We know that. We paid him to be that. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not really confident seeing 4 for 14 out there.
Mm-hmm.
But you can go ahead, man. What's some of your biggest flaws, bad things, disappointments you've seen?
Well, the biggest thing for me on the offensive side of the ball was the quarterback play, and you kind of alluded to that and hinted at that. We
Hmm.
pretty much said that in the lobby before we went live. Like I said this verbatim, the quarterback play tonight was abysmal. It was atrocious. Whether it was Mike White or Skylar Thompson, it was just terrible. I thought
Yeah,
I thought Skylar Thompson was what makes it crazy is that he still has the same issues he had from 2 years ago. Like he's staring down receivers. He's not moving up in the pocket. He's not utilizing his athleticism to me enough to extend plays and be a little bit better of a playmaker. And he's just making terrible decisions with the ball. I mean, I get it. He led one little touchdown drive, but that came off of a turnover. Like I understand, but in the same breath, at the same time, I mean, both of the touchdowns came off turnovers. Now that I think about it, but anyway, he wasn't making the throws or the reads that you will want to see at this point out of him. And it's not to say he needs to go out there and look like a solidified backup quarterback or someone that's worth, an extension once his deal is up, whatever case may be. But you want him to at least look like he's getting better by the year. And in my opinion, he looks like the same as that guy he was his rookie season. He just does. There's nothing, in my opinion, that has improved about his game, and that's concerning. And as far as Mike White go, like you just said, I mean, 4 for 14. I don't care who you playing with out there. It ain't good enough. You got paid a lot of money to come to Miami and be the backup guy. You need to be that. You need to be better. Point blank period. You need to go ahead and find whatever you need to find, whatever groove you need to try to get into. I don't know if it's because the offense isn't a fit. I don't know what it is, but it needs to be better. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not better, you need to find someone who can be better. Because what I seen tonight, it ain't gonna cut it. You need a decent backup, man. You in today's league, especially when you got a quarterback in Tua that has an injury history already, you need a halfway decent backup. Today wasn't good enough. It just wasn't. It was atrocious. It was abysmal. And again, this was going up against second stringers for the Falcons. And I get it. You're not out there throwing the ball to starters either. But at the same time, these guys are at this point veterans. They both of them have at least 2 years in this offense. There's no reason why they should go out and just look inept. Plays have to be made at some point, and they just not. They just seem to be unable to make them. And another negative for me, which may come off as a surprise for the audience, but I agree with you. I thought the receivers was a little disappointing, man. I mean, for all the money they have invested in that room and all the talent, all the draft capital, I mean, I didn't see nearly enough from the receivers. And I get it. Your top 3-4 guys didn't play. Cool. But at the end of the day, Malik Washington is a draft pick. Craig Kraft, you brought him in here because he was the Mike McDaniel guy with the Niners. He knows the offense as well as anyone on the team. Braylon Sanders, they've been raving about this guy. Braylon Sanders, excuse me. They've been raving about Sanders. Said he was, he's been better. He's learning the offense, and he looked terrible tonight. Terrible. Mm-hmm. And I mean, at some point, we just got to call a spade a spade. Maybe the guy just not as good as we thought. And it's unfortunate to say, because from what I've heard from reports, he got talent, but it's just, I'm just not seeing it, man. That's that's why I always say, man, I take practice with a grain of salt. I don't care what a nigga do in practice. When the lights come on, I know what he is. That's just what it is. Like, I don't care about someone getting an orange jersey because they had a good practice the day before. That shit don't matter. What are you doing on Sunday, Thursdays? Like, those are the days we need to be, you feel me, showcase these skills that you say you are sharpening in practice. And I'm not seeing it. And to pivot on the defensive side, I'm going to stay to this point because I've been hearing, I just say this last episode, I've been hearing all offseason, all training camp that Quentin Bell was a monster. Where the hell was it? Like the one time he got pressure tonight was because he went unblocked. That was the one time. Where the hell was this demon that been the best player in practice 2 straight practices? Where was this at? I didn't see that one time. I didn't even hear his name outside of the one play he had again where he went unblocked. Like, and this is why I say, man, practice I take with a grain of salt. I don't care how good a guy looks in practice. Can he do it on Sunday? I ain't see Quentin Bell. I didn't see what's my Channing Tatum do nothing. And I was one guy I was trying to see make a name for himself or at least look like he could get better. I didn't
Yeah,
see
for sure.
him. Ethan Bonner looked okay at times. I thought he played a
Yeah,
solid game.
he looked okay.
Yeah, I thought he looked okay at times. I thought he looked okay at times. I thought what's his name? Um Murphy. I thought he played solid. But the pass rush as a whole, I thought wasn't that good either. I mean, I get it. Again, there's no starters out there. Cool. Rarely any second strings. Cool. But
Yeah.
same time, again, these are the guys that they were saying was having great camps. These are the guys, and I ain't see it.
Plus, on top of that, these are the guys who that's the point of a depth chart. Like they gotta show something, you know.
Right. And it just wasn't it for me tonight, man. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. It just the defensive side, I've been hearing all training camp how the defense has been pretty much dominant. They dominated the Falcons in the joint practices. And yeah, to give them their credit, they had two big stops in the red zone tonight. I give them that. But as a
Yeah, they
whole,
just had another one in the game.
yeah, they did. I wasn't too impressed, man. I wasn't. I thought the defense looked okay at times, and I thought other times it just looked bad.
Yeah,
So hopefully that can improve. I mean, again, it's preseason. You take it with a grain of salt, just like you do with practice. But at the end of the day, this is where we see the new game plans and schematics and schemes implemented. You want to see people at least be in position, to make plays. Now, maybe instead of the guy that might be working at Foot Locker next week, maybe if that's Javon Holland, maybe that play could be made. At least you want to at least see the vision. You feel me? I don't see the vision when I just watched this full game. I didn't see it. So again, hopefully that does improve because I'm gonna be honest with you, boy. I did not see this dominant defense that they've been saying they've been having in practice. I didn't see it. I wasn't that impressed. Uh, but to continue off though, let's go through some of the game numbers, man, and then let's talk about some of those stats.
hmm
So let's start off with the Dolphins side. So again, both quarterbacks did not play well tonight. Skylar Thompson went 8 for 19, 95 yards. He had a touchdown. He had a pick. He ran the ball twice, had 6 rushing yards, and he had a quarterback rating of 53.6. Excuse me.
Oh, that's
Mike White.
trash.
Yeah, hold on. It get worse. Mike White, 4 for 14, 26 yards. No touchdowns, no picks. He ran the ball 5 times for 15 yards. He had a fumble, but it wasn't lost. And he had a quarterback rating of 39.6.
Ooh.
So again, it wasn't a good night for the quarterbacks, man. And then we go off into running the ball, which again I thought was a strength tonight. Jalen Wright had a good game, 10 rushes, 55 yards,
hmm
touchdown. Chris Brooks added 40 yards on 12 rushes. And Jeff Wilson, even though he only had 5 rushes for 70 yards, I thought Jeff Wilson looked good tonight. He caught the ball well. He ran hard. I like what I seen from Jeff Wilson. And as far as the receiving stats go, Tanner Connor, 3 catches, 70 yards. Pretty much
hmm
majority of the yardage came on that one catch he had when he broke down the sideline for like 43 yards, I think. Jeff Wilson, 3 catches, 18 yards, and a touchdown. Everybody else, nothing to really talk about. And that's why I'm disappointed at because it makes no sense that River Craycraft is what is this, his third year in this system? He already knew the system for the 49ers. And he
Yeah.
out here posting 1 catch for 11 yards. It's not good enough. I don't care who you got at quarterback. I don't care who you line up against out there. You know this offense like the back of your hand. Give me at least 3 catches, bro. At least. You was a starter for the majority of the game. You can't get open. You can't get separation. What's up? I mean, it's just a little disappointing, man. But
Nah, understandable.
Jason Sanders again had a good night to me. He attempted 3 field goals. He made 2 of them. So you can't make them all. It's preseason. You would like to see him make them all because that's the only thing he does. But you got to take it with a grain of salt. So let's go to the Falcons side of the ball. Michael Penix, 9 for 16, 104 yards. He had a quarterback rating of 76, so he pretty much outplayed both your quarterbacks easily tonight.
Combined,
Yeah, combined.
I seriously feel like he was the best player tonight.
Yeah, he definitely was the best. He was definitely the best player tonight, or the best quarterback at the very least. So as far as the other guys go for them, Tyler Heineke, 4 for 11, 11 yards. He had a fumble but didn't lose it. He had a quarterback rating of 44.9. And the other guy, Nathan Rook,
Well,
three for,
yeah,
3 for 13, 37 yards. He ran the ball twice. He got 24 yards, and he had a rating of 39.6. And as far as their rushing attack goes, no one really stood out, but except for I thought McClellan, however you say his name, thought he had a pretty solid game. Washington looked like he pretty much was a dual threat tonight for them. He had a solid game
hmm
too. So the Falcons as a whole, I thought their offense pretty much they pretty much was the better unit between us and them on the offensive side for our defense. Just that our defense made critical stops and critical turnovers, which you want to see defenses do. Like you could be bend, don't break.
yeah,
And
exactly.
and I thought that worked. I thought that was good to see. I thought that worked out well for us in our favor, as well as the fact that I thought they defended the runs a little better than what I've been accustomed to seeing the last couple of years. Again, this is a Falcons team that did not play starters, so you take it with a grain of salt. But like I said, when it comes to preseason, you want to see the schematics and scheme being placed and guys in positions where they could possibly make plays. And that's what you see. So I can't too much complain. So I was impressed from a schematic standpoint. You got anything you want to add, my boy?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, man, seeing Michael Penix, yeah, it is um the Dolphins, backups, second, third string guys, rookie signings and everything, but Michael Penix really did impress tonight. I had, like I said, I picked him as the best player tonight by far, just from being comfortable, making good throws, on time throws, leading Atlanta down the field.
Mm,
Um, and I really do like how the offense looks with him. Of course, Kirk Cousins coming off injury is going to be kind of, it's going to be kind of tough for him to come back because the Achilles injury is such a drastic injury. But if Michael Penix does get a chance to get in the game with the weapons that Atlanta has, I think he'll be, I think he'll be pretty all right. Um, Jalen Wright, if I was to choose somebody on the Dolphins, hey, incorporating speed is the name of our game. It seems like so. I think he'll really be able be one of those guys who could get plugged in right away and make a play because that's all you really want out of a fourth round guy and a rookie running back at that. Just make a play, make one explosive play, shows you can do something. And he showed tonight that he may be able to get into the system and really make some do some damage. especially since he's the future.
Right. And I agree with that completely. Jalen Wright, he looked damn good to me tonight. Like I said, he ran the ball well.
Hmm.
He ran the ball in between the tackles better than I thought he would, and he just looked comfortable. He looked like it wasn't too big for him the moment. He didn't look like he was shying away from anything. He embraced it, if anything. And truth be told, he was the Dolphins' best player tonight. I mean, that's just what it is. He was their best player on both sides of the ball. So I completely agree with you 100% on from that perspective. So as we know, the Dolphins are dealing with a lot of injuries right now. Um,
Yeah.
we got Aaron Brewer who's dealing with a hand injury. Odell Beckham dealing with whatever the hell he dealing with. I mean, I don't know what this guy at this point, man. You got of course Chubb and Phillips dealing with their respective injuries. Kendall Fuller is dealing with an injury as well. Jordan Poyer, he hasn't practiced in almost a week, and his wife revealed on Twitter he had a thumb injury. And tonight, you've seen several Dolphins players go down early in the game. So,
Hmm.
my question to you, my boy, is this: at what point do we start questioning the conditioning of these players? Like, and I don't want to make this a Mike McDaniel thing, but it sort of is because I think conditioning comes down to holding your players accountable, and I don't think he's stern enough with them that he actually pushes them to be as in a professional manner and in their tip top shape as best as they can be on a day-to-day basis.
Hmm.
And because I don't think it's coincidence, right? I don't think it's coincidence that you see teams like the Chiefs with prestigious coaches where they players, you don't see constant players getting hurt, at least not, you feel me, key players. You don't see that out of the Chiefs. You don't see that out of you didn't see that out of the Patriots for years. You don't see that out of the guys like the Ravens. Even though the Ravens did have that one year where they were just riddled with injuries, usually the Ravens are upright. You don't see that out of the Steelers. You don't see that out of like the better teams who have these noteworthy coaches. You don't really see these teams getting bit by the injury bug every year. Like maybe it'll be that one off year, you feel me, where they like just got real bad luck. But this is a every year thing with the Dolphins. And I think a lot of that has to do with the coach not pushing his guys again in tip top shape. And the biggest thing is the GM getting injury prone players. So what are your thoughts on that? Like what I just said. As like what do you think? You think I'm far left or you think I got a point? What you think?
Now the thing with the injury bug, it can it's a very detrimental thing for any player. So
Yeah,
let's
for
get that
sure.
out the way right there. So like it's unfortunate circumstances, especially when it's something like dire, like a ACL tear or anything of that nature. But when you get, I feel like it's more different when you get guys that's gassing, like constantly needing to be subbed out and everything. Like I know it's the depth thing and I know it's the preseason, but this is something that needs to be addressed, and it can be addressed in the NFL locker room and on the field, at practice and everything during the off season. Just like you said, holding your players accountable and ensuring that make sure y'all get y'all bodies right. Like I know everything is a business and all this, but at the same time, gassing out and it get constant players hurt. You alluded to Odell Beckham. We don't even know what he's doing. It's at some point you gotta someone needs to be held accountable, no matter how. unfortunate it is because it really is. Still, we got this is the football is to get to the end of the season and to win at the promised land. And if I can't come out there with 2 years ago my starting quarterback, last year Tyreek was banged up, Waddle got banged up, O line, but Teron Armstead banged up, Holland didn't finish the season, Phillips, Chubb. You see how many players I'm naming? These are the core guys.
Mm-hmm.
And we go out there with our depth pieces, and then we look at the depth pieces tonight, and they didn't show up.
Right.
This shows the difference between 8-9, 10-7, 14-3.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point, something's got to give. We got to either make sure we get the other guys to get right into the system and into the scheme and get them making plays, or we got to let the guys know, yo, we need you conditioned here and healthy to be able to finish the season for us because we got the team, but the window is damn near shut.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to reiterate injuries are unfortunate. It's a very unfortunate thing, but I do agree. Like there needs to be a sign of all right, worrisome. Like, hey man, we getting hurt a lot. Let's break this down and do this better. So I agree for sure.
Right. And I'm glad you brought up the point of the hold on, my iPad tripping. But I'm glad you brought up the point of the Super Bowl window, basically. And the reason why I'm glad you brought that up because I want people to understand one thing, right? Is this team is on the clock. This team, as it is right now, as it's constructed right now, this season and next season, this is it. Like
Yep.
I understand Tyreek Hill is amazing and etc. right now, but after these next 2 years, there's no telling what the hell Tyreek Hill could be because he'll be what 32 at that point.
Yep.
So there's no telling what the hell he'll be. I don't think he's just gonna fall off of a cliff or anything like that. But I mean, 32 is a long time in NFL as a player, man, especially as a receiver. So 32, he'll be older. Raheem Mostert, ain't no telling what the hell he gonna be because he in his 30s. Jalen Ramsey, same thing. He'll be 30. Odell, 30. So I mean, your best players are getting older. They're not getting younger. So they have to figure out this not just the injury woes, but they need to figure out these late season collapses, and they need to figure them out now because after these next 2 years, we should expect this team to start clearing house a little bit because a lot of guys gonna be older, a lot of guys gonna be old, a lot of big money that the team will not be willing to give, and
Mhm.
a lot of guys are going to have some uncomfortable conversations about being moved on from or traded. So this is the 2 year window. You got 2 years. I know some people been saying 3. Me, I believe you got 2 years. I think you got 2 years where you could legitimately go out and get pieces, go out and make your team better, go out and still have your core guys play at a very high level and actually still compete with most teams in the league. I think you got 2 years of that. This year and the season after. I think you got at least 2 years. But it has to start somewhere. And when I say somewhere, I mean it has to start with the division, then the playoffs, and winning the playoff game, and hopefully more. Some things we have not been able to do in forever. It feels like so. It's a tall task. It's a lot to ask of, but oh well. This is a talented team. The excuses are over. They're done. Finito. It's time to put results up. And one thing that kills me, man, and this is a little off topic, but one thing that kills me is when I hear the constant excuses, like, "Oh, you can't expect Tua to do this when the O line plays like this. You can't expect the defense to do this when Ramsey hurt, when Chubb hurt." Like, at some point, we just got to get the job done. At some point, the job has to get done. It's been 23 years since you won a playoff game. At some point, excuses are just enough. Just fix it. That's it. Fix it. If you were at your job for 23 years, could not give results, no one will make any excuses for you. Your boss will simply come to you and hand you paperwork and tell you to go home. For 23 years, just fix it. I don't care about the injury woes. I don't care about the excuses. Fix it. I personally don't care anymore. You got anything you want to say though? You hear me?
I actually didn't. What happened?
No, I said you got anything you want to say.
Um, yeah, I mean, you say 2 years. I really just feel like we got to have a lot of people on the hot seat because the Super Bowl aspirations just be that's just talking as a fan. And the first year with Tyreek, you kind of had feeling, but you saw the spark there. Like you saw the capability. But the year after that was the time that we were supposed to make a run for real. And to unfortunately see that the way that season ended, and then this past season, it's if it's not now, I don't know what we're doing, man. We might
Yeah,
it might have to come to it might have to come to a change. It might have to come to something else on the roster. Something may have to go down, but to for this team to be so talented and to basically exude mediocrity upon improvements, some improvements, but and being honest, it's been mediocre as well, especially with the sense of people getting hurt, nobody finishing the season, underthrow passes, drop touchdowns, drop interceptions, missed tackles, missed sacks, giving up plays. Is come a point where you got to start making excuses. Now I just want the results.
right. And I agree. I think we at a point where this team is far too talented to continuously make excuses. Again, this was preseason game one. It's a lot to be left desired. There's a lot to improve on. I'm sure it's a lot for them to talk about. What they feel like could have been better. What they think they did good at. But you at some point we have to. At some point they have to hold themselves accountable. At
Yeah.
some point they just have to want better. Like it's like what they've been saying in the news about Jalen Ramsey, Jordan Poyer, Jordan Brooks. They've been saying they want to change the identity of this team. They don't want to be viewed as soft, stuff like that. Well, here's the opportunity. This is the year. You don't want to be viewed as soft. You don't want to be viewed as the kid that could get hit in the mouth and do nothing about it. Go out and do something. That's all you can do. Until you
Yeah.
do that, that's what you are. But we gonna close out the session with this, man. So who do you give your game ball to, man? And just who you feel like deserves the game ball. Who was the best player tonight for the Dolphins?
Hmm. The game ball. I think I'm giving the game ball to either. I'm gonna pick two. I'm gonna pick either Jason Sanders or Jalen
Mhm.
Wright.
Okay.
Jalen Wright, because I was really impressed with the fourth round show, man. He really showed that, like I said already, he could play in this system day one. The same things we were saying about Devon A. Chain, I feel like we got like within him, especially with how the NFL is nowadays. It's very two running back system. You're really trying to keep your running backs healthy for as long as possible. So to have a third one waiting in the chamber that can let loose and not many guys on defense to catch him, I really feel like it's cool to have a lightning in the bottle type player on the offensive side. Jason Sanders, I just want to give another shout out because there was a point in time where his career long wasn't over 54 yards. And now he's making 57 and 58-yard field goals. So it's just a testament to the work he's been putting in. And I just got to shout him out for that. So I would pick either Jalen Wright or Jason Sanders as the game baller for the night.
Right. Me personally, I will go with Jason, not Jason, it's Jalen Wright. Because again, like what you just alluded to, what we said earlier in the pod, I'm impressed with what he did tonight, man. I thought he ran the ball well. I thought he ran comfortably. He like I said earlier, it didn't look like he had any kind of first game jitters or anything like that. He looked extremely comfortable out there. I was very
Mhm.
impressed. And he was the one positive thing for the offense on a consistent basis when he touched the ball. Everyone else just seemed to be operating quicksand. He he got it and just went. So that's what I'm giving my game ball to.
For sure.
All right, so before we head out, man, we're gonna make this a little short little episode. Before we head out, you got anything else you want to add?
Um, nothing really left to add, man. Just hope the team go out there, keep making plays, and we just show up next week and get a dub against the Commanders.
Right. And as far as that go, guys, we will be going back to the usual schedule where we'll be dropping episodes. We'll do a little pregame, review or who we think at the edge where in the matchups like we did for this game. Same as that concept. So
Yep.
if you are not already, go ahead and follow the channel on YouTube. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, wherever you want to see us at. I promise you I'm there. So yeah, that's all I got, man. So that'll be all for tonight, guys. Got anything you want to say before we head out there?
Hey, tune in, man. We here every week. Week 1 to week 17. Let's go Dolphins. That's it.
Right. All right, man. I'll see you later, my boy. Y'all have a good night.
All right, man. You too.
Yep.